the Lavender Witch, and the Captain. Kelvin, the newly transformed lavender fairy, still wasn't used to her delicate form. She stumbled in her lavender heels, collapsing in a fit of laughter in front of her new friend Fiona. The memory of her husband, Captain David's shocked face, was just too much. "Oh my," she gasped. "That was just too funny." Fiona, the green fairy, chuckled along, her own wings fluttering with amusement. "He'll come around, Kelvin. It's a lot to take in." She offered a hand to help Kelvin up. "Now let's get you steady on those wings. We have places to be." Kelvin took to flying as if she were born to it, a natural grace replacing her earlier clumsiness. Under Fiona's guidance, she soared through the shimmering air, the silks of her lavender dress trailing behind her like a comet's tail. They flew towards the edge of the fairy world, a panorama of impossible beauty unfolding beneath them. "Your world is breathtaking, Fiona," Kelvin said in awe. Her eyes then caught a splash of familiar color below. "Oh wow, look, a gorgeous lavender field." The scent that drifted up was intoxicating, causing Kelvin's own light to glow brighter. As they reached the shimmering border of their world, the view changed dramatically. Out across a churning gray sea, a dark island sat hunched under a perpetual storm. A single, menacing mansion of ice gleamed atop its highest peak. "Glaciela is there," Fiona said, her voice tight with worry. "The ice witch holds her captive." Kelvin looked from her friend's concerned face to the forbidding island. A resolve hardened within her. "Then let's go get your friend." The flight over the dark, stormy ocean was treacherous. The air grew cold, and angry waves crashed against the island's shores. They had to weave and dodge bolts of jagged lightning that tore through the bruised purple sky. Suddenly, a stray fork of lightning struck Fiona's wing. It instantly caught fire, and she cried out, spiraling downwards. With a gasp, Kelvin reacted. Instinct took over, and a thick, lavender-scented foam shot from her hands, extinguishing the flames. She grabbed Fiona's hand, her own wings beating furiously to support them both. She managed to carry her injured friend the rest of the way, landing heavily but safely on the icy ground before the imposing ice mansion. The air was frigid, biting at their skin. Before they could catch their breath, a figure emerged from the blowing snow. It was a strange, almost human-like creature made of blue ice, its eyes glowing with a malevolent light. "Run," Fiona shouted, her voice trembling. "It's a Kalupilluit. They steal fairies and their magic." But Kelvin stood her ground. "Stay back, Fiona. Hide. I'll deal with this." Kelvin charged, summoning a sword of pure lavender light. She battled the Kalupilluit with a ferocity she didn't know she possessed, her blade clashing against its icy claws in a shower of sparks. The fight raged for what felt like an eternity. But the creature was relentless. Kelvin's glow began to dim, her energy fading. With one last burst of power, she shot a powerful, charged beam of lavender light at the monster. The Kalupilluit melted slightly, but instantly repaired itself. Exhausted, Kelvin collapsed onto the ice. Fiona rushed forward, trying to protect her friend with a shield of green magic, but her own power was weak. Her glow faded, and she too passed out. The last thing they knew was the creature's chilling shadow falling over them before it consumed them whole. Miles and worlds away, Captain David paced the bridge of his cobalt blue starship. He'd been waiting for Kelvin's return, but an anxious knot was tightening in his stomach. He tried her communicator again, knowing it was useless. You can't contact a magical world with human technology. "I have to try something else," he muttered, his jaw set. He returned to his ship's engineering bay, determined to use his advanced technology to bridge the impossible gap between his world and hers. He would not lose her. Kelvin and Fiona awoke in a cold, dark prison. Bars of shimmering ice surrounded them. They were no longer glowing. Their inner light had been extinguished. Kelvin staggered to her feet, a desperate cry escaping her lips. She tried to summon a lavender flame to melt the bars, but nothing happened. Her hands remained cold and inert. "My magic," she whispered in horror. "Where is my magic?" "It's gone." A new voice spoke from the shadows of the cell. A third fairy, cloaked in cyan, stepped forward. "The Kalapilloit is a creature that eats fairy magic." "I am Glaciela," the cyan fairy said, her voice weary. "Once the creature consumes our magic, it dispels a crystal. That is how the Ice Witch was born. She uses those crystals to build her power, her mansion, her army." The three fairies sat together, confused, cold, and powerless in the icy cell. Hope seemed as distant as the warm sun of their own world. Fiona looked at her burnt wing, and Kelvin felt a profound emptiness where her newfound power used to be. But then, a flicker of something else sparked in Kelvin's eyes. Not magic, but the stubborn resolve of a starship captain's partner. "She may have taken our magic," Kelvin said, her voice quiet but firm. "But she hasn't taken our minds. There has to be a way out." Back on the starship, a sudden alert blared. Captain David stared at his screen, his eyes wide. A faint, anomalous energy signature had appeared on his deep space sensors, a signal that was not technological, but something else entirely. Something magical. "Kelvin," he breathed. "I'm coming."